The no-kill rule in comics, why it doesn't make sense. Welcome to African Reads Comics, the channel where we dive deep into the stories, philosophies, and characters that define the world of comics. Today, we are unpacking one of the most controversial aspects of superhero storytelling, the no-kill rule. For superheroes like Batman and Daredevil, the no-kill rule is a moral line they refuse to cross. It's a defining principle that sets them apart from the villains they fight. But when you look closer, this rule raises some tough questions. Is it truly as noble as it seems, or does it actually cause more harm than good? Let's dive in. The philosophy behind the no-kill rule. First, why do heroes like Batman and Daredevil refuse to kill? It comes down to their moral philosophy. Batman's no-kill rule is rooted in trauma. After witnessing his parents' murder, he vowed to never take a life, no matter the circumstances. For him, killing would mean becoming the very thing he fights against. Daredevil's code, on the other hand, comes from his Catholic faith and guilt. He believes life is sacred, then taking it would condemn his soul. As Matt Murdock, he wrestles with the morality of his actions every day. On the surface, this sounds admirable. It's about holding on to their humanity in the face of violence and chaos. But when we dig deeper, cracks start to appear. Why the no-kill rule doesn't work? Here's where things get tricky. Let's take Batman as an example. Time and time again, Batman spares villains like the Joker. The Joker is not just a criminal, he's a mass murderer who has escaped Arkham Asylum countless times to wreak havoc on Gotham. By refusing to kill him, Batman indirectly allows more people to die. Think of stories like The Killing Joke, where the Joker paralyzes Barbara Gordon and traumatizes her family. After all that, Batman still refuses to end the Joker's reign of terror. For Daredevil, it's the same dilemma. Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, controls a criminal empire that destroys lives in Hell's Kitchen. Fisk's continued existence perpetuates violence and corruption. Yet Daredevil refuses to kill him, even when it's clear that sparing him only prolongs the suffering of innocent people. The logical inconsistencies. This is where the no-kill rule starts to fall apart. Both heroes are willing to brutalize their enemies, leaving them maimed or permanently injured, but draw the line at killing. How does that make sense? If you're already crossing ethical boundaries by inflicting extreme harm, why is death the one line you won't cross? It's not just about logic, it's about responsibility. By refusing to kill, Batman and Daredevil pass the burden of justice onto others, like the legal system or fate. But we all know how that ends. Their villains escape again and again, causing more harm. In a way, their refusal to act makes them complicit in the suffering that follows. The narrative problem. The no-kill rule doesn't just create moral dilemmas, it also limits storytelling. Let's look at Batman. The Joker, Two-Face, and other villains keep coming back because Batman refuses to end their stories. This creates a cycle: the villains are captured, they escape, and the chaos starts all over again. While this keeps the narrative alive, it can also feel repetitive and frustrating. Daredevil's world, meanwhile, is more grounded and personal. His villains, like the Kingpin or Bullseye, are tied directly to his life in Hell's Kitchen. Sparing them raises the emotional stakes, but it also makes you wonder how many lives could Daredevil save by taking them off the board permanently. The paradox of the no-kill rule. Here's the ultimate irony: the no-kill rule is supposed to make heroes like Batman and Daredevil better than their enemies. But in practice, it often makes them complicit in greater violence. For example, in the Dark Knight movie, Alfred tells Bruce Wayne, "Some men just want to watch the world burn." The Joker is one of those men. He's not interested in reform or redemption. By sparing him, Batman isn't being noble, he's letting the fire spread. Daredevil faces the same issue. In stories like Born Again, his refusal to kill the Kingpin feels less like moral strength and more like self-inflicted punishment. He's so consumed by his own guilt and faith that he can't see the bigger picture, that sparing Fisk allows Hell's Kitchen to remain in turmoil. Why the rule should be broken. So, does the no-kill rule make sense? On a philosophical level, it's admirable. It shows that these heroes are committed to their ideals. But in practice, it's a flawed and often hypocritical principle. Imagine if Batman finally killed the Joker. What would that mean for Gotham? For Bruce Wayne? The psychological and societal fallout could open up new storytelling opportunities. Similarly, if Daredevil killed Fisk, it would force Matt Murdock to confront the consequences of breaking his faith and moral code. These are stories we rarely see, because the no-kill rule locks these characters into a never-ending cycle. Conclusion. The no-kill rule is one of the most fascinating and frustrating aspects of superhero comics. It gives characters like Batman and Daredevil depth and moral complexity, but it also creates logical and narrative problems that are hard to ignore. Ultimately, the no-kill rule forces us as readers to wrestle with tough questions. What does it mean to be a hero? Is morality about ideals, or is it about results? And when does mercy become complicity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should Batman or Daredevil abandon their no-kill rule? Would that make them better heroes, or something worse? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to African Reads Comics for more deep dives into the world of comics. See you next time.